Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're taking a look at set 76313, Marvel logo and minifigures. Now, when this set got announced, I got really excited because I'm a big Marvel fan, and I was looking forward to a different type of Marvel piece because I've built some of the busts, and built the Infinity Gauntlet, but having a set that was specifically the logo sounded pretty interesting. That was until I saw the price tag of $99.99. So I pumped the brakes on that, asked for a review copy to see if it's really worth that price. Here it is. Sizable, yes. Very red, yes. It does an excellent job at recreating the font of the letters for Marvel, and the seamless build, despite a lot of these letters being made using multiple snot type techniques, where sometimes it's upside down, sometimes it's sideways, sometimes it's just like clipped on to basically form these letters. So there was a lot, I mean a lot of work that went into making these letters fit both the font style as well as the height being consistent and the right word spacing for it to look this good. Looking at the rest of the model, it looks fairly plain. You finally see on the back that something's going on in the center, which we'll get to in a second. But if this was sitting out on a shelf, even the underside, you wouldn't think much of the model. So you'd pretty much just put it up somewhere, maybe even have it in the foreground or the background of a bigger Marvel set to add to it. There is going to be some mechanisms that work inside, which is why this box is as big as it is. To operate them, there's going to be two buttons, and they're going to be in between this set of studs and this set of studs. So there's a 2x2 section here that's really hard to see because everything's red, and they actually made it very flush, and it does require a whole lot of force. Because what happens was when you push one of the buttons, it will knock off a side panel on the side, as well as this plate here. So that's for this button, and this button's the same thing, where it's this panel plate and this side panel. As for the center, where we actually saw a little bit of mechanism on the back, that is Iron Man. You just flip him up and he appears. All right, I'm gonna put him back because last time I had him up and triggered the rest of these, stuff fell back into the model. So the whole point of buying a $100 set is it's kind of like a firework, where it looks unassuming, but when it operates, it has a big impact. Here we go. So yes, things burst out all over the place. Most of what happens in the mechanism is they're built so that they keep the minifigures at a particular angle and give enough element to connect them in both on the back of the leg as well as the front of the leg, because otherwise, if they were trying to come out with that much force, basically what you would have is the panel coming off along with the minifigure flying somewhere. So, and there is enough resistance with the plate on top and the panels on the side that yeah, you do need to heavily secure these things in. The minifigures, they look excellent. The rarest one, I think, is probably going to be Hulk, because normally you get him in a maxi figure form. They have made Hulk, though, in minifigure form before. In a few rare cases, I think the cheapest way to get him, though, is through a microfighter set. Otherwise, the version of Thor does have the cloth cape. The version of Iron Man does have the mask that lifts up. Scarlet Witch has her gun. Captain America has a shield. I do like the fact that this is the Captain America version that has the helmet piece instead of just the printed minifigure piece. So you do get some really nice minifigures. At $100 though, this is a really hard set to recommend. It is definitely for the major fan, and I think it's better for those who have already collected large Marvel sets, because then they can use this sign as a accompanying piece to further highlight, like, oh, this really is Marvel. Because maybe you have your Avengers Tower and your Sanctum Sanctorum and your X-Mansion and your Spider-Man Daily Bugle all in a little city set. Having this just to top it all off is something that I could see being worth $100. The average person, $100 is very pricey. So hopefully that gives you an idea whether or not this is worth it to you. I do like the mechanism that happens here, but it is a sort of special occasion where it's more of the first time somebody sees it has the greatest impact. It doesn't become really a play feature where, okay, now I want to put it back together and pop it again. Like, no, that was a lot of work. So again, that's set 76313. Marvel logo and minifigures.